Lipsticks, foundations, sunscreen, contour. You are probably very familiar with these products yourself if you are a cosmetic user, or at least have seen them before. They have become an integral part of our modern lifestyle. Now, everyone goes out and has to put their makeup on. They not only want to look beautiful, but also want to feel beautiful and proud. But do they know the backstory of the cosmetic brand that they are using? Today, we want to introduce you to a very interesting case study about Fenty Beauty, a brand by Rihanna, a worldwide famous singer. Next. So our group is team number 3, and we have 4 members. Phạm Thiên Anh, who is a makeup lover. Phạm Thúy Hường, who is the one who does it all for my skin. We also have Bùi Ngọc Linh, who is a makeup newbie, and me, Nhi. I always ask for my mask. Now, back to the case study. Before we start, I like to pose some serious questions. As a makeup user, have you ever thought that there's no beauty product for your skin tone? Or if you just try using a makeup product, have you ever felt that makeup is just not for you? Or even more, do you face beauty standard pressure? So these questions are actually not new. They are the very old questions that any cosmetic users and even Fenty Beauty, the brand that we are talking about today, is trying to tackle. But with all the taking, what is Fenty Beauty? So Fenty Beauty is an emerging cosmetic brand in the US that advocates for inclusion beauty. Founded by Rihanna in 2017, the company has attracted popularity for launching a 40-shade foundation kit that fit all skin tones. So our presentation will have 6 parts, covering nearly all of the initial phases of design thinking and development. I'm Nhi, and I will walk you through the context. Why did Rihanna found Fenty Beauty? So as you may know, Rihanna is a US singer, and as a singer, she has to appear perfect to her audience, and as a result, she has to use makeup products. However, she also has another identity. She is a woman of color, and as every other woman of color, she is facing 3 problems. So first of all, in the US beauty industry, there is an unspoken rule about a wide appeal. So if you're a white person, then that's maybe good for you. But if you're a woman of color or just like a man of color, you may face pressure to be, looking as a white person. So if your skin is, like in the darker tone, you may use products that may make your skin look lighter, look whiter. However, for even people that do not want to follow the white appeal, they may walk into a cosmetic store and unfortunately, they do not find any skin foundation or lipstick product that fit their skin tone because they have, like on the spectrum, they have darker skin tone. So these people do not have the products for themselves, and on social media presentation, they do not find people who look like them, but instead they find people who represent the whole culture, but are not a black person, but instead a white person. And after all, there are many brands that are aware of this wide appeal problem, but they do not act seriously enough to solve the problem. So as a singer and as a beauty user, Rihanna herself, she wants to solve a very thorny problem. Next. So you can look at the problem by watching the video that we included here. Can you turn on the video? Turn on the mic. So next. So as you see, the girl in the video just demonstrates to you a concept about inclusive beauty, but not every brand does their products for inclusive beauty. And even before, and actually before Rihanna started the trend, started the company Fenty Beauty herself, there are actually not many products that that's suitable for women of color. So Rihanna set out to solve a problem. And it is how can we have more inclusivity and creativity in the beauty industry for women of color so that they can express themselves and act true according to their own true identity. So now let me introduce you to the methods and tools that Rihanna used to listen to her customers and define the true pain points of the cosmetic users.
Unacceptable. This is not inclusive. This is not inclusive. This is also not inclusive. In 2022, for these to be your darkest shades of foundations is ridiculous. As a dark-skinned woman, I should have access to shades. I should be able to walk into a store and find my shade. When you exclude a whole group of people into your products, you cannot claim to be inclusive. Inclusivity cannot be performative. You are either inclusive or you are not. This is true inclusivity. This is true inclusivity. This is true inclusivity.
Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Lin, and I will present Fenty Beauty inception. In the first place, how Rihanna has hurt her audience and customer to learn more about the market and find her way to fail, and also to find the market and the customer persona that Fenty Beauty, the future Fenty Beauty, will focus on. So first, um, it as you can see in the chart, there is a very obvious trend of rising social awareness in America. In the left, you can see that 38% of Americans are currently boycotting at least one company for lack of diversity. And also, 65% of customers are likely to support a brand that cares about the same social issues they do. So if we think about boycotting a social issue, we can imagine like this. In the past, a lot of brands, they make a campaign like they promoted some kind of social awareness, but they are not really true and authentic with their agenda. Yeah, and because of that, if a company lacking the diversity in its product and its approach, Americans will be more likely to boycott them. So this also proves that Americans, they have a more and more belief in their power of, or when they choose to buy a product, they believe that their choice of buying will have an influence to make changes in a lot of industry and to promote social awareness. So Rihanna had seen this as an opportunity for her. Next, if we look at this chart, the searching analysis, we can see that besides from the survey about social status, Rihanna also looked at and took advantage of the rising attention, the social attention online about business owned by women. In other words, feminism and the rising power and equality for women. So yeah, most of the time in the past, even the cosmetic brands, the famous cosmetic brands, were owned by male owners, not really owned, inspired, established by women. So Rihanna also see this trend and see it as a chance for her new company to enter the market and gain the interest and attention of customer. So Rihanna, with her new company, had took advantage of these social surveys, had took advantage of these kind of searching analysis. So in a deeper and more personal level, how Fenty Beauty actually hears its customer to build and to build and develop their product. So first, talking about their way of approaching the customer, we must talk about the platform they use. So they use all of the famous and popular social platform like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and review platform. So taking advantage of Rihanna influence and popularity, Rihanna can easily communicate and get attention of the customer to really hear and know what the mass audience are really want in a cosmetic brand, and Rihanna can listen and understand the values and beliefs and what kind of product can make her customer feel truly inclusive, feel truly the sense of diversity and pride and respect. So to add in the strategy of communication, Rihanna also apply a very smart strategy of communication. It includes clarity, attention, feedback, informality, consistency, and timeliness. So all of these elements together make the communication of Fenty Beauty very made the communication of Fenty Beauty in the stage of product development very effective to know what the customer want. So they use a lot of, the short status or short tweets on social media to interact with the customer, and they even talk with the customer on the comment section. And for example, on video on YouTube, or they can post video on Instagram and Facebook. and then they can look at the comment section, they can look at the review section, they can look at the retweet reply to see what the community are talking about, and they will consider a product that can fill the gap and meet the needs of customer. So with all of these analysis and survey and hearing, Fenty Beauty have defined their customer persona very clearly. So first, in terms of gender, they will be female and even all kinds of genders. And also, talking in terms of age, they will be about 20 to 35. In terms of income, it will be about middle income. And regarding location, they will be living in a majority will live in major cities like LA, New York, Miami. So most importantly, Rihanna defined her newly developed product as a product that will fit the beliefs and values of her customer values. I mean, the product and the customer will resonate with each other. So briefly, her product will give a sense of her product will intend to resonate with the customer that values equality, brand transparency, creativity, and socially responsible brand. It means that Fenty Beauty will try to find its way in this overcrowded beauty industry with a lot of century-long dominant players, and yeah, with a very fast-paced lifestyle, a very common hobby and habit of using social media, and have a kind of opinionated personality. Fenty Beauty will try to develop their product to be suitable for these kinds of customer.
I'm Anne, and I will be talking about the ideation, the prototype, and the solution process. So first of all, for the ideation process, for the product concepts, Fenty chose to, instead of trying to fit into the existing beauty line, Fenty chose to stand by their own ground by creating the products that is going to fit for all skin tones and skin colors, even people with skin conditions. Next, for the bonding of users together. So unlike any other mega corporations, Fenty do acknowledge there is a lack of community for women of colors and Asian women to freely express themselves. Therefore, they wanted to create a community where all people from all races feel welcome to express themselves freely, and this will also emphasize diversity, which is the main theme of Fenty. Lastly is the brand owner and users connections. So Rihanna, a very famous pop star, is also a CEO of the brand, have been actively interacting with the consumers even before launching the products. And by sharing Rihanna's personal experience of how she, as a woman of color, also struggles to find the right shade for her foundation on social media, was able to create connections with her customers and her potential consumers. Lastly, next is the prototype. Next is the prototype part. So for first is the making of the product. So in one interview of Rihanna when she first launched her new lipstick line, she has revealed that every product line that she created took at least 2 years to finish, from start to finish. And the making of the process, like the process of the products, have 3 biggest concerns. The first concern is the inclusivity part. So first of all, the product line needs to fit in with all skin tones, which means that every product lines need to have diverse choices where women of all skin tones and men can choose which product that is the best fit for them so that they don't feel that they're excluded from the community. Secondly is the health concerns. So all of the products from Fenty Beauty will need to be tested for safety and allergy concerns, and they'll also be reviewed by a third party to proven safe to apply on skins. And the product must also include a legitimate ingredient list when when the product is launched. So the ingredient list must be publicized. Lastly is the ethics. So for the ethical concerns, all products from Fenty Beauty will not be tested on animals, and they will also need to use sustainable supply sources. Of course, Fenty Beauty is not a vegan-based brand. However, there are also many choices from Fenty Beauty that are vegan. For the testing. So after they created the products in 2017, when the product first launched, Rihanna created the launch party in which she invited celebrities, influencers, and even her fans all over the world to try out her products. And during the party, she has explicitly asked everybody to give their own honest review on their first impressions on what they think of Fenty Beauty. And even after the party, Rihanna and her team even prepared a makeup kit for anyone that attended the party that can bring home. This does not only help them to engage more in the product lines, but also helps Fenty to get and receive the feedbacks that they need. Lastly is the solution part. So after the prototype and the ideation process, Fenty chose to create the product lines that can be fitting for all skin tones, and which means that beauty for all products. In there, Fenty created many diverse makeup lines which are famous for the brand, like the 50 Shades foundations, or the lipsticks, or even the concealers. For the community, Fenty took the advantage of how people in nowadays society use this social media on their daily basis, and Fenty chose that as their opportunity, since they post daily of their products, reviews, and tutorials on social media. This not only helps people to engage more into the brand, but also make them feel that they are belonged in the new community. Lastly is the personal connection. Rihanna, after the party launch, still continues to create YouTube videos about how she does her makeup and her stories of how she struggles to find her makeup, in which the consumers felt like there's a familiar and there's sympathy within her and the consumers. Therefore, the brand can create a great connection with the consumer itself.
Okay, so what she gains after starting the campaign launch in 2017, she has distributed into two aspects. The first one is in financials. Fenty Beauty generated a remarkable $100 million in its first 40 days alone, and by the end of its first full calendar year of operation, it had generating $550 million in revenue, making it more successful than other celebrity-fronted brands, and worth an estimated $2 billion in retail volume in 2022. For engagement, according to the market intelligence firm Trendalytics, during 2021, Fenty Beauty had the second highest post engagement of the color British brands. The researcher tracks, generating over 58 million social actions and get the reach of 700,000 followers on Twitter, nearly 11 million on Instagram, and 1 million on TikTok. A famous blogger, Tish Sacco, when talking about the Fenty Beauty impact, she said that we must carefully continue to maintain the positive attitude we are building and continue to break down social barriers, because it is the social change that has triggered these changes. And to maintain this change, we need to develop this trend into the status quo. The revolution has not yet succeeded, and we still have to move forward. So what our group can satisfied take away from this case study? The first one is get the insight and take the initiative from people's problem. The case for inclusivity and is by loving our natural skin tone. And the second is the strategy, start at the right time and use the right way. Rihanna launched her project at the height of her career and did not forget to improve other factors instead of solely relying on her reputation. And the final is be brave enough to tackle a prickly thorny issue. So what is the next step of Fenty Beauty would do for our world in the future? Global expansion, bring beauty to underserved. Fenty Beauty will launch in new 7 continents and trying to expand the world of sustainability and advance the packaging to make it sustainable with Earth concerns. So I believe that this is not enough for predicting their plan in the future. They will do more and exaggerate their impact on society. So let's wait and see what happens with them. Thank you for your watching and listening.